Okay, I got the piece cut out, cleaned up. It had a little dross on it. There's actually more dross on the cut piece than there is on this piece. This had just a lot of this on it, which ain't, you know, just scraped it right off. Nice straight edge. And my radiuses. And I didn't do any radius here because that wasn't really, I don't feel needed. So I'll get this moved over here and set underneath the blade. Try to crib that up somehow. Get that into place. All right, I got it all basically clamped into place. I got the plate in. That was a pain in the ass getting that heavy thing up there. Basically, a bunch of just kept piling stuff up underneath of it, raising it up slowly until I could get my C-clamps on it and got it clamped into place. Then I had there's a slight bow in the blade, so I got a whole bunch of clamps on it, pulling it in. It can go a little farther, but I don't have anything tacked yet. I need to get that up there tack welded. Then I could put something on a little stronger. See, I have the light underneath. It's maybe not quite 1/8 of an inch gap. You know, that runs through there. So, I mean, push comes to shove, you know, that's weldable for me. That's nothing. But once I get it all tacked into place and held, in the next video, I'll make gussets that's going to go along the side here, and then fill all this gap. Something that it'll push against instead of pushing against this bottom gusset or the bottom plate and this gusset up here. So I'll make a plate that's going to contour fit that blade, one for each side. And I don't know if I'll do anything on the inside or not. That'd be doing anything in there, but just be basically overkill. I should probably pull it back apart and cap off these tubes just so junk doesn't get in there. But I think I might be able to do that after I get it all put together. Just put pieces on it and get them stitched in. That'll keep everything out. And if any water ever gets in it anywhere, water will run out. Should be fine, I think. But there it is. I think it's coming along pretty nice. Okay, I got a lot of the radius laid out for, you know, how I'm going to measure it. What I did was this is a 6-inch tube. I need to go from here to here, so I have a square block that I also laid out. I have like this chunk for this straight edge line, and I put 1-inch marks all the way up, and then I'd measure from the bottom of the 6-inch tube all the way back from the blade to my line, and then I'd make a count of I'd move up every inch, and then I'd get all those measurements off the radius, and then I laid it all out, and then I measured from the back of the blade to here with my square to get this distance, and then I kind of guesstimated the slope of this. Well, let me get you. This part here is a little higher in here, so I just added maybe like a 1/16 or so, you know, running off of the square. That's what I moved that for. I basically held this on there like that, and I got the gap that was in the far back side, measured that, and then just added a little bit. So this is tapered a little bit, and then I'll have a little slope here. It's not going to come down straight. It's going to taper or arc like this piece is. So I'll take you over here and kind of show you what I drawed. And we'll cut one out and test fit it. And then if it works out, I'll cut the other one, and then I'll take that same drawing and modify it a little so it fits the inside. It'll be a lot smaller. It won't be the 10 inches long. It'll just be, I don't know how I'll do it yet, but even if I'm even going to do it, I'll see once I get these pieces put in, see how rigid I think it's going to be. I think it'll be fine with just 2 gussets, because I'm going to leave this in. I've already got everything tacked or stitched in. I'll have to grind this out just so my plate fits a little better, but I just wanted some weld behind it. Alright, here's the drawing. I laid that out. Here's the 6-inch tube, and then go from that 10 inches to the edge of the tube on back into the blade, and then here's my 1-inch marks. I've already deleted all my lines. I measure up 1 inch at a time, and then I'd do it on this end here, go up 1 inch, and then I'd measure across all my measurements across to that arc. And then all I did was connected all the dots per inch to get the arc. And here at the top, I raised it about an 1/8 of an inch. And then I came down, so that's sloped just a little. It's probably going to still have a little bit of a gap, but that's fine. It shouldn't be too bad. It'll probably be a little snug. I might even have to touch it up with a grinder to get it to fit a little nicer on here, because if it rubs here, it's going to mess up this arc on the blade. So I really don't want it touching, because I can weld that with 7018. That's the 6-inch up on the tube, and then this little arc here, instead of coming down straight, I just put an arc in it. And then I also filleted all the corners. But this is a 1/4 inch radius on all of them, just so I get a crisper cut. You can radius that and that. So that's ready to save the DXF, and then I'll send that over to SheetCam to create the G-code and cut it out. Alright, I got the torch here where I want it on the plate, so I'm calling that my 0. And then I've got the G-code already pulled up in Mach 3. You see I've already done converted the DXF file to the TAP file, which is called, people call it G-code, but it's a TAP file, TAP. And I got it moved over here, and everything's zeroed out. The hypotherm is on, air's on, good ground, and we should be ready to cut. Too bad. Well, I'll get this cleaned up, dried off, and we'll go test fit it. Yeah, I cleaned it up a little bit, dried it off. I'm just going to do a test fit. I still need to either grind this weld out so it fits good, or I'm thinking about just marking this plate and then beveling this out a little bit to go around that weld, just so I have a strong weld on the tube to this plate, and then this plate will get welded to it also. Weld's in the way, but I mean, the fit seems to be pretty good. But I'm gonna go ahead and grind this out, and I'll bring it back just so I can get a good fit, so I can get it clamped in, so I can really look at what kind of gaps I have. Okay, I ground some of that out, and then I also tapered the plate just a little bit in that area, just to get around that weld and leave a lot of it in there. I don't think that's too hateful at all. Let me get a clamp on that. It's a little loose in the top. My guess I could have made that taper in the top of the plate a little bit bigger. I'm gonna have to move you out the way just a second. Let me get this clamped in, and then I can show you what kind of gap I do have. Isn't there any gaps in that thing that I can't fill? So. Fits pretty damn nice, really. See a little bit of gap there at the top, but I could fill that. That's easy fill. Not too bad. Might be a 1/4 inch on that's the farthest point. That's about an 1/8 inch right in here. And the gap on the plate is really not bad at all. About a 1/16 right there. I'm glad I put the radiuses in it. I'd have probably fought it getting that in. I mean, it would have just moved it back and created a bigger gap there. Yeah, and then this radius here looks fine. Like I said, I'll take the grinder and I'll round that off, just so it doesn't have sharp edges or anything on it. Now it'll just all be solid welded. And that should work. Not sure we'll do an install of it or not, because I got to take it off, leave here, go to the job site where it's at. I'll definitely get pictures of it though. I got this one cut and clamped into place, and When I was talking about C-clamps earlier, here's my diamide clamps. These are some bad clamps. I love them. Few things I'd like to see changed on them. I don't like the pins. They fall out. If you lay them down, they indicate out, and I've already lost one of these hand cranks on one of them. I bought a set of 4, and I got because this is the 6x1/4 or 1/4x6 clamp, when you can put a little, I call them nut drivers, little impacts on them, and you take this handle off so it doesn't fly around, spin out. But I did that. I was using it with an impact, and I lost the handle. So yeah, but these pins pop out easy. You can lay them on the table and they'll pop out. That's the only thing I don't like about them. I thought about, I don't know, I guess they come apart, and you can take these blocks out, because I have the copper coated blocks. I mean, you can change those out. They make a pipe fitting, or a pipe wedge, so you can clamp the pipe, and you can put other attachments on the clamp. But diamide, I mean, I love the clamps. I really do. Just a few things I'd change. But anyway, this plate fit real good. Got the same gap at the top, no gap anywhere else. Actually, this gap is a little better. And I'll get everything tacked in and get set up to start welding. It's awful loud though. That's the only thing I hate about cooler engines. They're so loud. It'll idle down. Coolers are just so damn loud. But we'll get in here. I got everything tacked in. Everything is tacked in. So tacks everywhere. Then I'll basically start stitching. I capped off the tubes so not to get junk in them, because I know this will fill up with garbage and stuff. They're just gonna have to pressure wash, but I did cap the ends of the tubes off so they won't fill up with junk. Well, I'll get to welding, and it's gonna take probably the rest of the day and a little bit in the morning.